Okay, we'll kickstart our just one chapter a day. Today is day 3, so welcome everyone for coming online. So, as usual, I'll run through some of the things lah. Basically, objective of this session is to kickstart reading habit. Okay, we may not be able to read the whole book in one shot, but at least one chapter a day. So we hold our personally accountable lah. All right, so we don't hold people accountable, but we hold ourselves accountable. That's also very important. So in case that you're not able to share online, to come online, you can also share in the chat group, or you can even take a video and share in your Facebook post, for example. And also at the same time, we also want to share knowledge through a summary and takeaway, and also improve our public speaking skill. So now it's a small session, so you can share yourself. I think you can present better, basically. And ability to summarize, because last few sessions I talked too much already, so I need to summarize into a 5-minute content. Okay, so that's also a skill set. So agenda for today, 3 to 5 minutes, share your title, author, which chapter number you are doing, and at the same time, the topic, okay? Sophia is coming in soon. So in summary and take away, all right? So I will probably invite, so let's start with, hold on, let me stop share first. Let me see, Sophia. Stop share.
Hello.
Okay, hello, Sophia.
Hi.
Welcome. Okay, you made it. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I was mentioning, today we will share one chapter. Okay, we do it once a day, basically, on a daily basis. If you're not able to share online, that means you can't make it just like some people because of appointment. You can always share inside the chat group. And there's all alternative. You can do a video depending how you go about it. Okay. So we'll run through one at a time. So Sophia and Sylvia, today you are new members, but I will get you later so they can see how other people are doing it. So with that, can I kickstart with, we given 3 to 5 minutes each person. Can we kickstart with Andrea? Andrea, yes, share with us your book, author, and which chapter you're in, and your quick summary.
Okay, I'm Andrea. I'm reading this Start With Why, Simon Sinek. I'm at chapter 2. Chapter 2's topic is about carrots and sticks. I think this chapter is very interesting. So they talk about, actually there's a lot of ways to attract your customers. So so I just list the way lah. So the first way is manipulation versus inspiration. So manipulation is like, we always get deals, discounts, let me see. Is it deals? Wait. Hold on. Yeah, manipulation versus inspiration. So it's like the typical manipulations is like running promotions or dropping the price or using fear or influence behavior. So the first part he wrote is about price. So actually price war, everybody knows that, we always go into price war with our products. However, the thing about price war he mentioned, right, is like taking drugs. It's very addictive. So when you keep giving the price, you have to keep cutting your price to satisfy the customers the desire lah. And then he also said like he also mentioned the General Motors the incident where General Motors always throw in like incentives for customers. Then one day, right, he actually stopped the cashback incentive, right, or reduced, right, and with that, right, the sales went down. So this is one example. Okay. Then okay, so the second one is called fear. So fear is the normal one. I highlighted this insurance industry because I'm in insurance. Insurance industry will always sell you term life insurance before it is too late. So they always use fear, like cigarette smoke. They always put like if you smoke, right, then you'll die of cancer. Otherwise, fear. Okay, then the third one he mentioned is aspirations. So aspirations is like, for example, it motivates you. So just now is fear. This one is motivate you to towards something desirable. So for example, 6 easy steps to losing weight. However, aspirational messages, right, are usually most effective for those who lack of discipline. So someone who lives a healthy lifestyle and is in a habit of exercising, right, will not respond to 6 easy steps to losing weight. Yeah, so this is one example. Okay, then the fourth one will be peer pressure. So peer pressure is like, oh, you know, everybody is getting it, why not you? So this is a form of peer pressure. Okay, then okay, then this one I find it quite interesting. The fifth thing about carrot and sticks is novelty. So actually novelty, a lot of companies like 分不清 novelty and innovation. So they give an example of Motorola versus Apple. So Motorola actually came out with, you know, their handphone to say that they have a very good grade of aluminium or metals or whatever, but actually it's nothing. It is easy to penetrate. It is easy for competitors to copy you. However, what Apple do, right, is they actually give a service to the telco. So that's how they differentiate. Wait, let me see. Yeah, so so they give this example, right, that actually we have to gain loyalty from our customers. Loyalty doesn't mean repeat business. Loyalty means, right, even though your market is very bad, right, this customer will still stick by you. Or you may do a mistake, but your customer will still stick by you. But repeat business doesn't mean loyalty. So they give an example that during the September 11, right, there were customers who sent checks to the Southwest Airlines to show their support. And the $1,000 check actually said that you have been so good to me over the years, right? These hard times, I wanted to say thank you. So even though this is not enough for the impact during the 911, right? But it gives the, you know, that the customers actually have for the brand. So this is loyalty. So we need to build loyalty with our customers instead of keep, you know, dangling carrots and sticks for our clients. Yeah, so that's about it. That's the end of chapter 2.
Okay, fantastic. Congratulations for finishing chapter 2.
Yeah.
I think over here is also the discount part, whereby you keep giving discount, you're actually training your customer to only look for discount. So that's the part whereby that when there's no discount, they don't follow you anymore. But when you just now talk about the loyalty part, right, it's also the relationship. The relationship, because when I read my book, right, it's about the relationship with the people. When there's a good relationship, right, regardless of good time, bad times, right, they will still follow you. Regardless of pricing, probably you increase price a bit, but they will still follow you.
Yes.
So that's actually loyalty.
Yeah.
And do you have an idea? I mean, in your industry, insurance industry,
of course, because
what are you going to do different after reading book? Is there anything that you pick up from here that you can do differently for yourself?
I think more of giving what kind of value you want to give to your customers. I think we are very well trained in BNI. In BNI, we learn about how do you give value to secure customers. So actually nowadays, I don't really dangle, you know, I give you vouchers to close case already. People buy because of the advice that I give. Yeah, so I think really building loyalty throughout your business should be the way to continue so that you don't need to keep cutting your price. Or you keep having price war, like, hey, why the competitor have lower price, then you have lower price, like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I think the most important thing, we don't go into price war, like it's actually never ending. Okay, fantastic. So next up, can we have Vera? I see that you're already done. Okay. Yeah, probably you're reading chapter 3 already. But anyway, okay, share your first chapter, Vera. Share what is your book?
She haven't even finished chapter 1. Halfway. Finished already?
You need some time or not?
Oh, she did today want to do half of chapter 1 because too long.
Okay,
later,
no problem.
Angela cannot sleep.
Okay, no problem. So so for Vera, please share with us your book. Okay, the title of the book, the author, and which chapter you are reading. You're sharing with us today.
I'm reading Rich Dad Poor Dad by Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I'm reading chapter 1.
Okay. So can you give us a take? What's your summary, or what are the key thing that you like about chapter 1?
That's not what you tell me.
The poor and middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them.
Okay. Then the example. The go to work one.
Okay, so basically they put an example. So this guy and his friend were not invited to this party because they were the poor kids. So he asked his dad how to make his money, and the dad replied to use his head. So the next day he and his friend went around the neighborhood to get used toothpaste tubes. Then after a while, after like a few weeks, they used those and make coins out of lead. Then his dad explained what counterfeiting is, and their dreams are shattered lah. Then he said that they were poor, that their friends were right, like the other person was right, they were poor. So his father replied that you are only poor when you give up. The most important thing is that you did something, and most people only talk and dream about getting rich. So then the author's dad said that his best friend's dad was brilliant at making money because he is building an empire, and he suspect in a few years he was going to be a very rich man. So on the Saturday, they agreed to meet on Saturday, and they
went to find a dad.
They went to find his dad, and he said that they were going to work for 10 cents an hour. But on the third week, he gave up and told his best friend. Then his best friend said that his dad said that this will happen and to meet up with him when he was ready to quit. So he met up with him. So the best friend's dad said that he said that by doing this, he's teaching how life will teach him. Because the Robert thinks that teaching means talking or lecture, but that is not how life teaches you. And life is the best teacher of all. And
life is the best teacher of all.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay.
And so he ended up trying to get a raise, but in the end he ended up working for nothing.
Is that what you want to share? That's all?
Yeah, I think so.
Then tomorrow do second part. Okay, she share finish already.
Okay, well done, Vera. Well done. A big round of applause.
She share the second part of chapter 1, okay?
Okay. Yes, no problem. You take your time, a few pages a day. It's better than no pages at all. So it's always good. And especially Rich Dad Poor Dad, there's a lot of stories that you can learn from there. So you can see the more you read, the more you become better. At the same time, you are better at sharing as well, smoother. All right, congratulations, Vera, on your first half of the chapter. Okay, so next up, can we have Angela? Angela, share your book title, author, and also which chapter you're at.
Yes, this is my book called Leading Change. It's by a local author, a company, a business owner called Tam King Leng. So he write about leading change. That matter. Chapter 1 is about yesterday was about resisting to change, and chapter 1 is about preparing to change that. This means exploring the change. So chapter 3 is empowering change. So there's a quote that he put, John Kennedy was talking about efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction. So when we want to empower change, this chapter talk about the 4th framework. Is called the adaptive thinking as a way of reframing. That's mean to encourage and navigate change. So first of all, we need to have the acceptance, describe the change and focus on the benefits. The adoption, that's mean explore the improvement, you want to go for it and encourage participation. And also an awareness, explain the process and define the purpose as well. So this is why he called it as the stages in the adaptive path framework in order for empowering change. So there are 3 frameworks that he said: acceptance, adoption, and awareness. So in any situation or in an organization, there is always 3 leaders, okay? There is organizational leaders, that actually they are the telescopic view and they see the future. And there is also a middle manager. The middle manager are the macroscopic, they see the situation. And the lowest one, what we call as the staff, that's mean the more operational, they are the microscopic view. Okay, they see the details. All right. So that's mean if you were to put it in the layman, the organizational leaders are actually the upper management, the middle manager are the middle management, and the staff will be actually what we call as the staff member or the operational members. So things we fear most in the organization are the fluctuation, disturbance, and imbalances. And we need to, this is being said by organizational behavior consultant Margaret J. Whitley. So this is the main primary sources of certainty that he talked about if you want to empowering change. So what we need to empower change, we need to have an empowered leader as well. Without empowered leader, we will not be able to prepare. So to become an empowered leader, you must actually plan for diversity of your team, bring new blood to the team, and also acknowledge upfront challenges coming up, and remind yourself and your team that change is always a process. So never an event. It is never an event. If it is a singular event, no matter how traumatic it can be, it can be worked out through the challenges are immediate and obvious. So it is all about balancing and find ways to get more comfortable with the ambiguity. That's what we are right now. We are in a situation whereby it's really ambiguous. We do not know what's coming next. So this is what this chapter 3 is about, empowering change, and you need to have the empowered leader. So this is what we have for chapter 3. Tomorrow will be very interesting.
Okay, very good, Angela. So just a thought, after reading this couple of chapters, how are you going to apply it into your life, into your business, into your network and stuff like that? Any thought about that?
Oh yes, actually I already changed something where how I do my things. So instead of doing alone, I try to collaborate with people, whereby I'm an accounting person, so I collaborate people with be a business consultant or person who do software, and a person who also do workshop as well. So because from that perspective, actually we come together and we have actually the same common client that we are actually serving. So yeah, instead of doing solo, why not we come together and empower together as well, and leveraging each other network. And that's how we call it as you need to know the change, and then if you resist to change, you will not be changing, you're still there. Yeah, so right now you need to be you need to empower the change as well, and you also need to find like-minded people that want to come together with you to change as well. So there are people that we know that they still wait for the time when we can meet face to face, then we talk. Now, by the time all pivot already, we zao already. I mean, we already, because we prepared already. We already prepared. Those who still, we are already in front, they are still behind chasing us, but they are actually losing out already. And we are actually trying to work with people with this, that's mean to create a product that we can actually sell off to another person and to help the business ecosystem. What can we do from it? So the software, people can create software, and that's where we come together and build together as a team, and then we create the managed services.
Okay, very good, very good. Yep. So especially now with the COVID situation, it is more important to change. If you don't change, basically, yeah, after the COVID situation, basically outdated already. So perhaps Sylvia can share with us what is the book that you're going to share, the title, the author, and why you choose this book. If you have the book with you, you can also show us the book as well. Help Sylvia, unmute yourself first. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sylvia. I actually don't have. Actually, my house have a lot of books, but I lazy go and find. And then Vincent gave me this book to read. Is Questions Are the Answers by Alan Pease.
Okay. Okay, so
I just read.
you read this book because Winston passed it to you. That's all.
Yeah, Vincent passed to me. Then he said it's a good book. Then I said okay.
Okay.
Then he gave me so long already. I haven't really read.
Okay,
I read
already
halfway.
lah.
Then I stop already. Then I start again now.
Okay, so just before that, anyone know who's Alan Pease? Alan Pease, anyone know? Raise up your hand. If you go into the MPH, you go to the bookshop, right? If you find any books related to body language, how do you read body language, right? It's by Alan Pease and another lady. Yeah. So he's very good in that sense. That means when the person sits like that, look like that, or cross leg or whatever, what does it mean? Okay. So this book is about question is the answer. So it's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting book. Very simple to read book. So I let Sylvia to share with you. Okay, Sylvia, please.
Also actually.
No need. Okay, read one chapter.
Vern,
Yes.
you're really like our librarian, eh?
Librarian know so many things.
Yeah, know a lot, eh?
Yeah, so I know more than you can already. But you also know more than me for other books as well. Okay, just happen I know this book. Okay, so Sylvia, please share what is it? What is that chapter that you have read so far? What is it about?
I read the introduction, then actually I read before a few months ago. Then every chapter, right, they have like this kind very cute what's that, pictures to let you think. But the first one I don't know what is it about.
Then you share that chapter, just one chapter. No need to share the book, just one chapter can already.
Okay, this introduction to tell you what is so good about network marketing.
Okay.
Then you say that not everyone likes network marketing. The fear is because they think the people that don't like network marketing is because they think that they empowered salespeople to become the top levels. But then the author say everyone can be good in network marketing just with a simple system. You just need to follow the system and techniques and you will be succeed. Yeah, I think that's about it. The introduction.
Very good. Okay, that's good. It's a good start. Good start. Fantastic. Now, though this book is written by Alan Pease for the so-called network marketer, so it's actually written for the network marketing industry. However, whatever you read inside that book can be applied for any industry because inside there are few key questions. Okay, because it's all about asking questions. So that's why I'm going to share my book about good leaders ask great questions. Okay, so thank you, Sylvia. Very good. Well done. So we look forward to listening to the officially first chapter from you tomorrow. Okay, so next up we have Sophia. Sophia, share with us your book. Okay, the title, the author, and why you chose this book.
Well, okay. I chose this book, John C. Maxwell. Invaluable Laws of Growth. He's a believer, but he's also a leader in conveying leadership, teaching all these, and he's been around for a long time. So his book is simple to read. Some are very easy to follow. It's not too deep that you get lost along the way. And this is almost like a pointer, 101 that you can go through step by step quite easily. So on this book, it says The Invaluable Laws of Growth. I actually read it one round, but like they said, books you read at least 4 times. To first round is the first cut, and then after that to internalize. And at different stage in your life, you will digest the book differently, and when you read certain things, it'll come through differently. And this was read in 2000, was last year, beginning of last year. And now that we're in COVID, I think also today after the budget talk, they mentioned that grab this chance, when we are like locked down, what do we want to make out of it? And the very introduction of this book that I remember, I was talking about potential that all of us have. But of course, potential, if you don't uncover it, it can just be a potential. It's just like, oh, I've got potential to be a pianist, but I don't play a piano, so you'll never, you get to the end of the road, you be in the coffin, you still never are a pianist. So then step by step, the very first law, I'm going to the first chapter.
Okay.
All it talks about is the law of intentionality. Growth doesn't just happen. Of course, everybody wants this, want that. So to decide, first of all, you want to grow, of course, starts with why. It's why do we want to grow, right? We want to make the best of our time. For me, I like to grow, but not grow sideways. Unfortunately, I've grown a bit sideways. I've got to look at the book again and see what did I do wrong, right? So again, this is a good recap. So some of the reason why people are not growing is because of some mental block. So it goes through to say that people with assumption gap. So they assume that some are automatic, right? Assume, oh, I'll grow. Yeah, growing fat is probably the most automatic things lah. But even that, I know I've eaten a lot to come to this stage. So that's an assumption. Then a knowledge gap could also be a deterrent of growth because you don't know what you don't know. So to do that, then I suppose the attitude of growth, the outlook, all that is important to get a grip of a self-awareness. Okay, I can't really see what I wrote. I have to put on my glasses. And then time gap. Sometimes we give excuses to say, oh, this is not the right time. So if it's not the right time, then when's the right time? So I know when we're busy, also don't have time to read books. So I think it's great that Vern suddenly came out with this, not suddenly, I'm sure you have done a few chapters, and thanks for inviting me. When is the best time to grow? And I think it's never a good time. But now it's an opportunity where we have to face ourselves during this lockdown and to make the most of our time. This timing gap reminds me that actually whatever happens for a reason, and we make the most of it. So I think this is a perfect time to recap and to redo our learning. The government, our PM and all that is telling us to do that as well. So then the next thing is a mistake gap. Probably afraid of making a mistake. Sometimes we're too held back by our fear of making a fool of ourselves, our ego issues, and or maybe we don't even expect to make a mistake. We're perfectionistic, but we still deep down inside some fear, right? And then a perfection gap. So that's for some of us who are perfectionists. Like if I want to do this, I must spend this much time. After I get so tired, I don't really care. I lose my momentum. And then another hindrance is in inspiration gap. What did the author says that forget about motivation, just do it. Motivation is good to have, but if you really want it bad enough, just make that commitment, and start to you look back and see how far you have come, and then just keep going. Yeah, just do it. The other mistake people make is a comparison gap. You learn by being comfortable getting out of comfort zone rather than comparing. So it's the only way to stay ahead. And then the expectation gap, that's the last hindrance, is to create our own luck and no easy route to success. So is to prepare for growth, and the attitude to tune, an opportunity to review, and an action to put that into place. And so finally, it talks about a few things. Let me see. So the action point is identify these gaps, what they are, and then don't underestimate the importance of everyday learning. And you can get distracted, but you have to stay on course. And then the most important takeaway is start now. Like now, I only started exercising 3 weeks ago. I should have done right from day one in April. I look back, I should have started earlier, right? But of course, we have our excuses, we have to adjust, we got to get a routine. But I would say look forward. Look forward, because we don't be too harsh on ourselves, but just keep going. As we take on little steps, you will get there. But to start with an intention, first of all, and now I look forward to reading the rest of the chapter. There are 15 other steps. So I've start with intentionality. Thank you very much.
Okay, very good, Sophia. I think as long as you get started somewhere, somehow, it's better than not getting started at all. First step is always the hardest step, but it's always the best step. Hey, very good. Okay, so yeah, looking forward. I also have my own John C. Maxwell's book, so so much to read in that one chapter. I'll do my best to summarize later on. So next up, we have Michelle. Michelle, share with us your book, your title, at the same time, which chapter. Come, Michelle, unmute yourself. Michelle, you need to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
can
loud
you hear me?
and clear.
Can, okay. I'm reading this book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. It is actually this, to summarize, this book is actually talking about gaining awareness of ourselves. It's more like to know ourselves better and not to let our mind overrule our thoughts. This is just, some for those who just came in today. And then the first chapter actually we talk about freeing ourselves from our mind. And this is just to say that not to let, when the thoughts subside, right, then we experience some discontinuity in the mental stream, a gap of no mind. So this will take some short gaps and time that will actually gradually, we will feel a certain stillness. So this book is actually the first chapter is trying to tell us not to let our mind rule over us, all right? And also not to let the mind rule our emotions, because our body react to our mind, all right? So to know our mind, our body will actually give this truthful reaction. So it is actually to tell ourselves to let go whatever is in our mind. It's like when we go into meditation, so free our mind from all sort of emotions and whatever pain we have or whatever, just to stay calm. All right. So why I decided to read this book is also because it leaves an analytical mind, so called to find this myself better. All right, it's actually to find oneself better, to leave the ego behind, because many of us actually will be affected by all the ego that is in us, maybe the fear. So this book actually will help us to embrace some inner change and to have transformation. So basically that's the first chapter. So I want to share a little bit on the second chapter. I don't have time to read the third chapter today, but I want to share what I missed out yesterday. Yeah.
All right.
So the second chapter, we talk about consciousness. So we talk about the way how we want to get out of pain. So because every one of us will feel pain probably in the present state. So the intensity of the pain depends on the degree of resistance what we have at the present moment. And then it in turn depends on how strongly we actually relate and identify with our mind. So to realize that this present moment is all what we have. So we will only focus, then we will be able to focus on our life, you see, but not so much onto like the pain. So we want to realize that because the pain can be inflicted probably in the past, all right? But we want to focus on our present moment that this is my life. So we want to step out of these resistant patterns so that we can actually allow this present moment to be as it is. And this will then give one a taste of the inner freedom from external condition. That is the state of the true inner peace. So this is actually a very spiritual book. It's more to tell us how we want to get over the pain, not to let the pain get into our body. All right. And one of these very important points, which I thought that I want to share, is actually the origin of fear. Because fear comes in many forms. It can come from uneasiness, from worry, anxiety, nervousness, tension, phobia, and so on, you see. So these are actually classified as psychological fear. And it is always something that actually, we always think that this is something that might happen, but it's actually not something that is happening now. This phobia, anxiety, worry, it comes from the past, and probably it's also something into the future, you see. But it's not something that is happening right now. So we want to maintain this book actually tell us to be in the state of now, means the present moment, all right? So that, because our mind always wander into the future, so it creates the anxiety gap, all right? So this is what we known as the mind identified state lah. So we want to get out of this state, all right? So this particular section actually advises us to disidentify all this fear from our mind. So it is only to state clearly how firmly we want to feel and think, and not to think of all this aggressiveness or how defensive we want to be over this fear. Then the sense of fear is then derived from the deeper and truer place within ourselves, you see, and not from the mind. So this is just a summary of this chapter. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. I think we all have some form of pain, can be physical or even emotional pain. I think it's also talk about the now thing. It's also something about we need to be present. A lot of times I find that also listening is not easy, frankly speaking. A lot of time we are thinking, but we are not really listening. Okay, but that being said, okay, today my book, all right. So my book over here today will be Good Leaders Ask Great Question. All right, Good Leader Ask Great Question by John C. Maxwell, a leadership guru. And today I'm talking about chapter 3, what question do I ask my team members? So of course, chapter 1 talk about why are questions so important. Chapter 2 talk about what questions should we ask ourselves. Chapter 3 will be what questions should I ask my team member. And of course, when you talk about leadership, right, talk about leader, a lot of times we think about leader who inspire, leader who take charge and do things. But there's another kind of leader, the leader that actually asks questions and also listen attentively, okay? So, and most important thing is that a good leader listen, learn, and then lead, okay? So that's also very, very important. However, even though this chapter is about what question do I ask my team member, but inside he also talk about how good a listener are we, how good a listener are we, okay? So basically 3 level of listening. The first level is called internal listening. So we basically listen and focus on ourselves only. So whatever we listen, it must be related to us. Okay, then we listen in. Then we focus on ourselves. The second level of listening is called focus listening. So instead of focusing on ourselves, we change the focus to the speaker. Okay, change the focus to speaker, their sitting posture, how they say, the emotional aspect they bring about. Okay, that's the second level of listening, which is called focus listening. Okay, the third level, which is what a leader should be, an effective leader should be, is called global listening. Okay, so it's no longer focusing on the person, but rather you are able to read the person, read the room, read the situation, and intuitively also know what's coming. So basically, you are reading the environment too. Okay, so everything, speaker, emotional, environment, everything comes back together. So basically, it's called global listening. Okay. And basically, like I mentioned, it's a level of listening for effective leaders. Okay, so the power of listening is also very important because there are 3 benefits if you are able to ask the question and also listen to it to receive it. Because there's no point asking a question where you're not listening, ma. So what's the benefit? First thing, okay, imagine this: you're asking questions to your employee or your staff or your team member. If you were to demonstrate that you're listening to them attentively, first of all, you demonstrate you value others. You value their opinion. Okay? You value their opinion. Okay? This is very important. Now, secondly, if you ask them a question and they are talking and you listen attentively, you are also influencing them. Because by doing the act of listening, you're actually increasing your credibility. And by increasing your credibility and therefore able to influence them. Okay? And third one is called listening that leads to learning. Have you encountered this situation whereby you ask, then the person talk until they can, from a problem, they can identify a solution by themselves? It happened to me before in university day. So there's this question that I share, suddenly I came out the answer by myself. Okay, so if you listen long enough, and the person will generally come out with their own solution. So this is called listening that leads to learning. And of course, sometimes we have to ask ourselves, are we really listening? So that's why John C. Maxwell came out with some of the questions, 3 questions he asked himself whether he's really listening properly. First, he asked himself, do I have an open ear policy? Do I interrupt? Okay, because some people like to interrupt people. Do I interrupt? Do I want to hear what I need to hear? Because some people just want to hear what they want to hear, but not what they need to hear. Because sometimes what they need to hear may not be positive. Because as long as positive, everybody like to listen to positive stuff. But if it's negative, it may be something they need to hear to improve on themselves. Okay, so that's why a lot of times he'll ask his secretary, his personal PA, tell me what I need to hear on the front end of the business, not what you want to tell me or what you think I want to hear. Okay, tell me what I need to hear. Now, of course, he also have 11 questions that he asked to his team member. 11 questions. Now, these are also the questions that you can think of. Okay, that you can also use to your team member, to your colleagues, to your friends, or even to people around you when you have a gathering. Because during gathering, like a dinner session, he always asks question one. He loves to ask questions, and you listen attentively to what they have to say. So first, because a good leader asks great questions that inspire others to dream more, think more, learn more, do more, and become more. Okay, and that's true questioning. First question, very, very good question. What do you think? What do you think? It's a very open-ended question, okay? But this question itself have multiple purpose. It can help you to gather information. It can help you to confirm your intuition. It can also access someone's judgment or leadership, okay? And also you're teaching them how to think. It also is a way of processing a decision, okay? So these are some of the things that you can ask just by asking the word, what do you think? Okay. Now, second question, how can I serve you? Now, if you have the opportunity of let's say, conducting a talk organized by someone else, okay, this is what you should be doing. A lot of people, they are very fascinated, or I got a big stage, I go on stage, or talk, and that's about it. But if, let's say, for example, organizer gives you the opportunity to talk in front of a big crowd, you may want to ask them, is there something I can say for you? Is there something I can say for you? I'm here to serve you. I'm here to evaluate your people, your client. Is there anything I can help you to say? Just by doing this, they may want you to come back as many times as you can, okay? Because you're helping to serve them, okay? So basically, a lot of times he also say, when you go to any of the meeting or whatever, he always started, I'm here to serve you. Is there something I can say for you? Okay, that's John C. Maxwell. Now, third question you ask, what do I need to communicate? What do I need to communicate? Because sometimes you are engaged to speak. So the context over the thing about here is that because success in communication comes from knowing the context more than the content. Okay, knowing the context more than content means to say that who are the people over there, what kind of level are people over there, who I will be talking to, what's the most thing, what is the most important thing over here, okay, what was the call to action, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we need to know the context, not just the content. So the fourth question, did we exceed our expectation? Did we exceed our expectation? Okay. Fifth question, what do you learn? Okay. So experience isn't the best teacher. Evaluated experience is, after evaluation, of course. Okay, what did we learn? Now, did we add value? This is also another question that he asked his team. Did we add value? Okay, did we add value to the customer? Okay. How do we maximize this experience? Okay, how do we maximize this experience? Because by asking how we can maximize the experience, we make the most of them. Okay, we make the most of them. That means we can even enhance it to next level. Okay, the eighth question, what do I need to know? What do I need to know? Okay, the ninth question, how do we make the most of this opportunity? Because we're all entrepreneurs, so if there's any opportunity that comes by, how can we maximize and make the most of this opportunity? Number 10 is, how are the numbers? How are the numbers? Okay, so what numbers do we need to know? If you are a leader, there are numbers that are important for the success of your team organization. So you need to identify them. What are the numbers? Okay. So you must have a regular discipline, okay, to review the numbers, to assess whether you are succeeding or failing in falling short, and make changes to improve yourself. It could be your sales target, it can be your revenue, profit margin, and so on and so forth. Are you reviewing your numbers? Okay. Number 11, the last one. What am I missing? Okay. That's one last question he always asks himself. What am I missing? Because this is the question he also asks frequently after what do you think? Okay. After what he say, what do you think? At the same time, he also asks, what am I missing? Okay. So because two of the fastest way to connect people are asking question and ask for help. Okay. Asking question, what do you think? After that, asking for help. What am I missing? Okay. So most important thing over here is to create an environment. Okay. Most important thing over here is to create an environment where questions are valued. That means you can look in the organization, your team. Okay. Do they value asking questions? Okay. And by asking questions that's being valued by your team member, okay, that's where your team member, whatever their answer is, make a difference because you have created this environment of questions. Okay. So with that, that's the end of today's chapter 3. Okay. So I'll move on to chapter 4 tomorrow. Thank you very much. Good leaders ask great questions. Okay. So basically, that's the end of today's sharing. Any takeaway from any one of you after listening to whoever share that you have a sudden urge that I want to talk about that? Any one of you that you want to implement your business, your organization? One of the key takeaway that you learned from someone who said something, or any commonality that you have? Anyone? Okay, so no one, huh?
I think Vern's book title says it all. Good leader asks good questions. I've always valued the skill of asking questions, and the list of questions you've highlighted here have a lot of different perspective. It really trigger the mind. I mean, how do you shake somebody's mind to make them think, right? Like sometimes I get a frustration. Am I talking too much, right? So I think the art of asking questions is really the key to it. And it's all about asking questions. I think it shows us making ourselves look a bit more intelligent. They said it's never a bad question. It's never a stupid question. In fact, asking question in a different space, you can intimidate others as well. But we have to ask with care. But I think it's a great skill to acquire. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I ask what's the third question again? What's the third question? Missed that.
Okay, third question. Hang on. Which means to say that you need to buy this book. Okay, unfortunately the bookshop is closed, right? So third question is let me see. Second question, how do I see it? Third question, what do I need to communicate?
Okay.
What do I need to communicate?
Okay.
Okay, so basically you need to know the context rather than content.
Yeah.
Like who am I talking to? What's the most important thing? What the most important thing was? What's the call to action was? Okay, the context of the whole speech. Why are we doing this, basically? Because it's not about how you communicate, how you ask, but also not about what you ask, but also how you ask as well. That's also very important. So it comes back to leaders asking question. At the same time, question is the answer, which is the book that Silva read. Is also always asking about question. But the most important thing is that a lot of time we don't know what question to ask.
Yeah.
We don't know what's the profound question to ask, and that's the reason why this book gives you some tips. Okay, that you can ask people. If you don't know what to say, don't know how to say, especially if you're introverted, you don't want to say anything, ask questions is the best way of networking. Okay, so with that, that's the end of tonight's session. It's recorded, so basically if you want to look back, refer back, we have our day 1, day 2, and today's day 3 to refer back to the chapter that if you're interested in. And at the same time, like I mentioned, anytime that you're not available, do let me know. Of course, you can post in your updates about the chapter that you read, okay, into the group chat or into your Facebook, YouTube, whatever. Okay, so with that, that's the end of today's session. Thank you very much.
Do you want to take picture?
Thank
Oh
you.
yes, picture. We take picture first. Smile, smile. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, hang on. Okay, nice. We get it.
Okay, good. We become YouTuber.
Okay.
Yeah, because you post us on YouTube.
Yep. Okay, so that's it for
Thank you.
tonight. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.